After slaying the Guardian Dragon, we take another magical elevator that leads us to Dragon Aerie. This is the third time we meet the Emerald Herald outside of Majula, which is still really cool, to be honest. She also gives us an infinite use Bone of Return, which is an item that is very cool to have, especially in the next area. In terms of design, this area looks great. The wind, the dragons flying around, all of that really helps the immersion and it gives the place a great atmosphere. Although the color of the rocks and of the ground are always the same, which isn't very appealing visually, you know, kinda like the architecture in Drangleics Castle, it's still better than if it was grey like in the Harvest Valley. The bridges linking every floating islands together add a nice touch to the place. And outside of that, well, the gameplay isn't as great, unfortunately. I still really like that area, just for the fact that it looks pretty and it's really cool to just walk around here. But yeah, in terms of enemies here, you have some explosive ghouls, which I don't know why they are here. Why are undeads here and why are they explosive? It's weird, you know? It makes sense in the Lost Bastille, but here, why? That's just weird. You also have a lot of crystal lizards for some reasons, and a bunch of sleeping dragons that you should definitely try to not wake up. Unfortunately, the previous two enemies I just talked about will make it really hard for you, because the ghouls will try to destroy a bunch of eggs, and if you destroy too much eggs, the dragons will wake up. The crystal lizards tend to be around where the sleeping dragons are, so overall, even though those two enemies don't really make sense to be around here, they still are a great fit for the area, because they work perfectly with the sleeping dragons. So try to avoid at all costs to not wake up the sleeping dragons, but at the same time you have other weaker enemies that will do anything in their power to wake up the dragons. Now, the sleeping dragons themselves, once they wake up, it's just like the Guardian Dragon with less moves, so it's just not as threatening, and I would even go as far to say it's not threatening at all. So in truth, the explosive ghouls are technically more dangerous than the sleeping dragons, because the explosive ghouls, they deal a lot of damage, they put you on the ground, sometimes they will explode repeatedly and damage you every time. It's really annoying. Now there is a last danger in this area, is that if too much eggs are destroyed, the flying dragons that you can see in the environment around here will try to destroy the bridges that you're walking on, so you can fall to your death, and they will also do that for the last bridge that allows you to leave the area. So it's a sort of test, like if too much eggs were destroyed, you die. And you get a nice animation, I guess. Now this mechanic, they don't explain it at all, but you don't need to explain it, it's pretty clear that you shouldn't destroy the eggs and that you get punished if you don't defend them. Now you can blitz through this area very fast if you ignore every enemy, loot, crystal lizards, but if you try to collect everything, well, first you will end up with an enormous amount of loot, considering the number of crystal lizards that are around here, which is really nice, because now that we are in late game, end game, the game is providing you with all sorts of resources, so that if you want to change your playstyle, you can. And that is a really good point. Now, there's a slight thing that I dislike here, and it's mainly about crystal lizards. Because of how they work in Dark Souls 2, killing all of them will take you a few runbacks. Luckily for you, the Emerald Herald gave you an infinite use Bone of Return, as I said previously, and it comes really handy. That's not the only reason you're gonna need the special feather. At some point, by trying to loot the entire area, you can end up falling down a ledge that leads to nowhere. Like you're literally stuck on a ledge and you cannot do anything, except use the feather. Now, I was a bit disappointed because the feather brings you back to the start of the area, but it also brings back enemies, which is weird because it doesn't give you back your restus. You still need to rest at the bonfire. Kinda weird. Now, having to start the area again is annoying, especially with enemies respawning, so I'm not a big fan of that mechanic. It would have been cool if the feather could teleport you back to a certain point without making enemies respawn, so that you can explore the area freely, you know. Now, they must have realized this too, because they didn't put ledges like this one again after, which is good, because a ledge where you get stuck and you are forced to use a Bone of Return or the feather that they give you. It's kind of a weird mechanic, I don't really appreciate, honestly. Now, the idea of the feather is cool, but they should have designed the area more around it without the frustrating part of having to fight all the enemies again, you know. It could have also been really cool in an area with several branching paths right at the start, which isn't the case here. In a remake, they could add bridges to the first islands, leading to several other islands, and every path could offer different challenges and loots. And at the end of every track, you can use the feather to come back to the start of the area. Since you're done exploring the first part, you can just go to the second part, and even if enemies respawn, it's not really a problem since you haven't explored the second area yet. Now for the enemies, it's hard to put original enemies here, because I mean, it's a place where there are a lot of dragons, so what are you supposed to put around here as enemies? You know, they put the ghouls because they work really well with the sleeping dragon and eggs mechanic, but outside of that, it's kinda complicated. Now, this is not entirely true, because in the next area, Dragon Shrine, you find a bunch of Dragon Knights, so I guess they could have put some Dragon Knights here and there. And maybe some, like, Dragon Thief, or Dragon Egg Thief, something like this. Because the ghoul, they just destroy the egg for no reason, which is weird. Like, why are you destroying the eggs? You really want the dragon to wake up and kill you as well? That's weird. So in my book, replacing the ghouls with an enemy that fits the same purpose is a good idea, but it's not a priority. The ghouls work just fine, it's just weird from a lore perspective. For the rest of the area, it's pretty much the same thing repeated once or twice. You can also get invaded by the Royal Wizard here, and another NPC. A really fun thing to do here is to try to make the NPC fall in the void by luring them on a bridge while a dragon is destroying the bridge. That's at the end of the area, you don't fight a boss, but as I said, the dragons will destroy the final bridge if you destroy too many eggs. Overall, this area was fine, it was beautiful, it's really a great area for the atmosphere. In terms of content, it's fine, there are some flaws, but it's definitely not the worst. It's definitely not the worst area. Maybe in a remake, make the sleeping dragons more dangerous when they wake up, add less ghouls here and there, try to replace them with a better fit, otherwise. And also fix the crystal lizards, because it's so annoying to kill a crystal lizard in Dark Souls 2 compared to Dark Souls 1 or Dark Souls 3. The eggs mechanic is really similar to the bells in Elden Crypt, although it is far less punishing here. I mean, you can die at the end, but you can also go through the area without any eggs getting destroyed pretty easily, so it's fine. The length of the area is good, it's not too short, unless you bleed through it, but if you try to collect every item to interact with the mechanics, it's a good amount of time. So I think it's fine. I'm just not a big fan of the no return ledge, or the excessive fall damage you can take in these two in general, which can be the case in some areas here and there, and it's the case in this area. There's a point where you can take some full damage if you're not careful, which is annoying because dying of full damage of all thing and having to restart everything because of that is really annoying. I don't mind the absence of a boss at the end, considering, well, Dragon Shrine is right after. I was personally expecting a great dragon fight at the end of Dragon Shrine instead, and well, we'll talk about that in the next video. For now, I give this place an 8 out of 10. Thank you for watching, bye!